This is your Rustler Report, and again, if you missed it a minute ago, we are going to get games started early. About 12:15 will be our start time of this basketball game as, again, weather is impeding. Weather snowing outside here in Riverton right now, and weather in the path of all three of our visiting teams.
Are they going to try to go like a half hour then immediately after this game to the next game? Then is that their tentative plan?
Yeah, because they can't let them in
That's
basically at all at that point, that they'll try to move that next one up.
For example, our guys cannot watch our girls' game,
right.
for example. That's just...
Two of them can because they're running the cameras up here in the booth with us. But, yeah, for the rest of them, they can't. This is your Rustler Report. It's a very busy weekend of sports for CWC athletes. Our volleyball team was in western Nebraska today and yesterday. They would fall to McCook, Nebraska in 5. After winning the first 2, they lost the third 30-28. They would lose the fifth 15-8. They came back then later in the night and played 11th-ranked Otero and swept Otero. And they're 1-1 on the season.
Didn't we see Otero when we went to that regional tournament in Cheyenne a couple of years ago? In fact, I'm not sure. Is that who we played in the first round?
I think it might have been that play-in game, absolutely, on Halloween a couple of years ago in Cheyenne. The CWC volleyball team just finished against Western Nebraska in volleyball, 17th-ranked Western Nebraska, and lost in 3 to the Cougars at the Cougar Palace. Sage Burnson, Ava Rasmussen, 7 kills apiece. Mary Moyle had 6. They'll face Trinidad State at 1 o'clock this afternoon. They will have their first home match Tuesday against the Rocky Mountain JV. Hopefully we'll have a crowd here by that time Tuesday afternoon by 6 o'clock for the home opener for the volleyball team.
I'm thinking the 17th ranked team is better than the 11th ranked team.
I'm guessing. And I think a lot of those rankings go on how they finished last year.
Or even the name of the program, I think.
Yep, Central versus Trinidad State at 1 o'clock this afternoon from Western Nebraska and the Cougar Palace. Basketball, as we mentioned, the ladies fell to Lamar 48-40 yesterday. They'll take on the 15th ranked team in the country, Western Nebraska, coming up here in just a few moments. The men's team will take on Lamar in their home opener, just their second game of the season after they fell Wednesday to Western Nebraska 86-85 in a very close one. They'll take on Lamar. Golf, rodeo, and soccer all yet to get things cranked up for CWC Athletics. And soccer right now is still in search of a coach, and I'll try to chat it up with our athletic director by Tuesday on the Rustler Report and get you an idea of what we're looking at as far as a soccer coach is concerned. So this has been your Rustler Report. Stay with us. A coach interview with head coach Lindsey Fearing is next. This is your pregame show on 88.1 Rustler Radio and Rustler Media, streaming live on rustlerathletics.com. Let's take a look at our starting lineups as we get ready for Central versus Western Nebraska on a Saturday afternoon. Again, we are about 4 minutes away from tip-off. Is going to get this one started a little early thanks to the weather that is going on outside. And starting like this for Coach Chad Gibney, he is in his 5th season, and they have won. Well, they've been in the national tournament the last 4 years. They ended up ranked 2nd in the country by rankings last year. There was no tournament because of the COVID pandemic as it went, but in the final rankings, they ranked them number 2 in the country last year. So take that for what it's worth. They will start number 4, a 5'5" freshman from Omaha, Nebraska. She scored 19 the first time they played against Central. She scored 13 against Western Wyoming yesterday as Alacia Douglas. Number 5 is Yada Garcia. She is a 5'8" freshman from Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Actually, I think they started Bella Sparaco yesterday, the 6-foot sophomore. Also number 23, a 5'10" sophomore, is Ashley Panham. You'll also get number 13, a 5'7" freshman, a 4-time All-Stater from Cheyenne East High School. Scored 17 points in her college debut against Central on Wednesday night. That is Kai Buell.
In fact, I think you and I did the state championship game 2 years ago when Thunder Basin won their first state title ever.
Yeah.
You know, beating her Cheyenne Central team.
I liked her little pregame warm-up. She would dribble around the entire bottom area of the event center last year and the years before. And then also number 52 is Lindsay Mauku. She is a 6'3" sophomore from France, and she scored 12 against Western Wyoming yesterday. That is for head coach Chad Gibney, and he's got a unbelievable win percentage going on there. 4 straight South titles, and they fell in the championship of the region title to Casper College last year and still went to nationals and ended up ranked 2nd. So it's
interesting that they would hold a 2nd ranking when they didn't come out of their regional as the champion.
Well, I tongue-in-cheek asked him, I said, was Casper number 1 then? Because Casper had beaten them in the Western. He says, no. So that's how it goes. If Coach Fearing starts the same 5 as last night, we will look for number 3, Sienna Astorga, the 5'8" sophomore, as she is from Wyoming Indian High School via Ethity, Wyoming. Number 10 is Alex Terrazas. She is a 5'6" freshman from El Paso, Texas. Number 21, Lauda Martinez, a 5'6" sophomore from Leon, Spain. Also number 24, a 5'7" freshman from Sacramento, California. That is Miley Williams. And number 42, the 6'1" freshman from Palmerston North, New Zealand. That is Sam Meadows. 9 rebounds and 7 points for Sam last night.
And they'll need every one of those rebounds against this team today.
And Coach talked about that. Let's see, series history, not good for the Black and Orange. This is the 19th meeting between the two. It is 16-2 Western Nebraska, including 12 straight. They've had wins over Central of 59, 56, and then Wednesday was 52 points. The last Central win over Western was in 2012. Cheryl Stauffenberg's team won in the first round of the Region 9 tournament on their way to a semifinal appearance. Their other win was a forfeit the next year. So out of those 18 wins, 18 games, Central has actually only beaten them on the court 1 time.
And most of those games have come as of late because we used to not play them way back when.
And, yeah, this is modern day, I guess I should say, from when CWC brought back athletics from the 2008 era. The Central wearing their home white uniforms today with the orange numbers and the black trim. Western Nebraska is in their navy blue with the yellow and gold accents, as Chad Gibney and Isaac Liu, his assistant. Isaac is also the assistant for the Western Nebraska men's program as well. And I don't believe he was at the game Wednesday because Chad Gibney assisted the men's coach, and the men's coach assisted Chad Gibney on the games on Wednesday night at Western Nebraska when they would get a
You would think
sweep.
that would perhaps be on the road, but not at home.
Right,
But interesting.
Something perhaps going on with Isaac there as well. I do not think...
Suspension, you think?
I think there was no subterfuge going on that one, as sabotage as you had asked. I don't know if we're going to have another national anthem or not. I don't think we are. I think they're going to go right into the starting lineups, and I've got to plug in the laptop, or this could be a short stat occasion. Going to go with the visiting starting lineups. We'll go along with them as well. as they will start Alicia Douglas, Bella Spiracco, Kai Buell. Also getting the start is Ashley Panham, who led him with 18 points yesterday, and then Lindsay Mauku, the 6'3 sophomore from France, getting the start here today. So again, Chad Gibney in his 5th season as the head coach. Central being introduced again in their home whites. Sienna Astorga, Alex Terrazas, Lauda Martinez, Miley Williams. She just got introduced. She didn't hear it. She's not coming out. There she comes. And then
you're right, just shaking her head as she came out. On.
And then Sam Meadows from Palmerston North, New Zealand.
Both teams huddled around there. Well, their head coaches right now. Is he ready for the tip-off? CWC breaks their huddle first, attired in their white uniforms, orange trim, black accents. Western Nebraska, the navy uniforms. And actually, they got some navy trim on those navy uniforms, yeah, but also gold and white.
Navy numbers on a navy uniform with the yellow gold trim. Moku and Meadows will step into the midcourt circle. And the ball is in the air and controlled by Western Nebraska. Buell gives it back up. And Buell gets it on the angle, guarded by Astorga. Interesting in that both games that Western has played, the visitor has scored first until today.
Well, you can tell already, though, they play the game at a faster pace than the two teams we saw play last night.
Douglas taking that down the lane, scores on the lay-in, and a travel violation right away by Central. Their first turnover in the first 30 seconds of the ball game as Lauda Martinez got her feet kind of tangled up and traveled with the basketball. Alicia Douglas opting to play with the mask on. Alicia from Omaha, Nebraska. 19 points the first time these two teams played on Wednesday night. Panham, yesterday's leading scorer, shovels a pass with the left hand to Buell. Baseline on Astorga, and a foul is going to happen on the floor on Sienna. And that will be, actually, yeah, it is on Sienna, her first, team first. Western had huddled up, both teams had huddled up. The referee
doesn't appreciate it.
Urging them back into action. Spiracco. Douglas going to run the left side lane this time, and that one doesn't go down, and the rebound by Astorga. Central scored the first points of the game, and then Western Nebraska scored the next 19 points of that game as Bella Spiracco going to foul him near midcourt. Yesterday, Western Wyoming scored a three-pointer to go up 3-0, and the next time you look at the scoreboard, it was 23-3 Western as they gave up the first basket to the opponent each time and then just unloaded their defensive fury and took care of business and transitioned to points on the other side. Meadow.
I think it's a game where CWC has to get every loose ball that's there.
Terrazas down the left side. Runner is good as it sneaks over and falls in, and we are tied at 2 apiece. Driving, nice wide open pass to Maoku on the backside, misses, and then they let him tie up for a long time, and the rebound is going to be a foul on Lindsay Muroko.
Yeah, we sometimes complain about it being whistled too soon on those tie-ups, and here they let them rock and roll a bit.
Definitely let them battle for it. Full court pressure out of Western Nebraska. Miley Williams will trigger it inbounds, gets it to Astorga. It's a man press. They should clear on out of there and let her take it across. Buell's going to stop at the half-court stripe, though, and apply some pressure. And now they'll get a half-court trap. Astorga just overwhelmed. They'll turn it over again. Buell ahead of the pack on the glass, lays it up and in. One of the top 5 leading scorers in Wyoming women's high school basketball history, Kai Buell.
Yeah, and not all those points were scored at the same high school is interesting, too.
Freshman year at Rock Springs, and then the subsequent 3 years at Cheyenne East. All state, all 4 years.
I think I said Central, but earlier on, you're right, it was East that she played for. And that was Thunder Basin's first title in any sport, by the way.
Williams, right side, Martinez, 10 to shoot, 4-2 Western Nebraska. Martinez gets knocked to the floor as that ball squirts out. Sparaco is going to commit her second personal foul, third team foul on Western.
And that's an effect and cause foul like we were talking about before. I think when she went to the floor, the foul was called.
Peyton Fields will check into the basketball game for Western Nebraska. The 6-foot freshman from El Paso, Texas, had 9 on Wednesday against Central, scored 9 yesterday against Western Wyoming. Terrazas cannot beat the 5 count. That's going to go off her hand out of bounds. It bounced off the foot of Alicia Douglas and then off the hand of Terrazas as she was coming in bounds. That's the right call. Central turns it over. 3 turnovers on the orange and black in the first 2.5 minutes of the basketball game. Buell running past Astorga down the lane, scoots it outside. Panam for 3. That's off the mark. The rebound by Central. Martinez, and then they'll turn it over again. Kai Buell right underneath on the pass from Douglas has 4 points. 4 turnovers by Central, leading directly to 4 points. And another steal by Douglas, just pickpocketed, take it with the left hand and score it, and a timeout called. The defensive frenzy that is Western Nebraska is just overwhelming in the backcourt on both Central and yesterday on Western Wyoming. And they've bolted out to an 8-2 advantage with 7:03 left to play here in the first quarter.
And even if you've seen it just a couple days ago, it's hard to prepare for it because you don't really have the elements on your team to show that in practice.
It is hard to replicate that intensity and with which they come back with. Central basketball teams will be on the road next weekend. They will be taking on Snow College and I believe College of Southern Idaho, or I think it's Salt Lake, I think is where they're going with that. Let me look and see. I have it. It is Snow College and Salt Lake. The men will play the women play at noon. The men play at 2:30 on Friday of next week. But they'll flip-flop opponents. The women play Salt Lake first, then Snow second. The men play Snow first, then Salt Lake second. They'll play at 11 and 3 on Saturday. They'll play at noon and 2:30 on Friday at Western Wyoming College in Rock Springs.
That's some very tough competition right out of the gate for the CWC teams.
The volleyball team will be on the road to Salt Lake. They'll be at the Salt Lake Invite. They'll play Western Wyoming, College of Southern Idaho. They'll play Western Nebraska again. And they'll also play the host team, Salt Lake. Out of the timeout again, full court pressure by Western. Williams gets it inbounds to Terrazas. She'll get past 2 defenders and bring it up into the front court. Terrazas is then tied up by Muuku and take it away. So even when they beat the pressure, still can't get a shot attempt going as they had it just pickpocketed, and then they'll commit the foul on the other end.
And even though that was kind of like a 1-on-2 fast break at the end of that, forcing the issue sends her to the foul line.
Miley Williams with the foul, and at the line, Alicia Douglas. 4 points on the day for Alicia. Left-handed free throw is good as it snaps the nylon. 9-2 our score.
Miley showed her hands up after that foul, but she was moving at the time, so it didn't really matter that her hands were up.
Second one is good. And we'll see Shanti Henry checking into the ball game. 5'8" sophomore from Wichita, Kansas. Astorga in a double team in the backcourt. Gets away from one double team but ends up in another. Left side, Serena is into the ball game. Amua Tui Savora. She'll have it baseline left side. Won't pull the trigger on the 3. Central has only 1 shot attempt in the first 4 minutes of this ball game, and they made it. And then Terrazas in traffic gets knocked to the floor. No call there. Douglas the rebound, but they'll throw it away at midcourt for their first turnover. And Central back the other way with it. Terrazas. Oh, she had Sam wide open underneath. Just couldn't find her.
I think there's such a relief when you beat the press. You sometimes don't see the open player.
Astorga in traffic. Right hand shot off glass is not good. And the rebound coming down to Peyton Fields. Shovel underneath. Muuku, left hand, strong off glass over Meadow. It's good.
She kind of had Meadow pinned to the opposite arm at first, but then Meadow adjusted, but she still went the same way.
12-2 Western Nebraska. Driving, and ball being swatted out of bounds by Western. It will stay Central basketball, and now Central will bring in a couple of subs as well, as Miley Williams will check out of the ball game. Mauku will check out, but they'll bring in Emma Johnson, who is a 6'3" freshman from Fort Collins, so they don't lose any height as that ball nearly stolen away by Kai Buell.
That's what I was trying to think about, who won the state championship last year, but there was no state championship for these teams in 4A, of which there are 2 members of Cheyenne East on the squad.
Madison Blaney and Kai Buell. Meadow at the high post on the inbound to Edith Latui, who has checked into the ball game. Down low to Sam, right through her hands and taken away. Driving, shot from the right side, 3, no good. Rebound put back up and in by Emma Johnson.
Not a lot of wasted motion in the post. They get the ball and just, no dribble, put it back up.
12-point Western Nebraska advantage. Again, they have just flat out overwhelmed the Rustlers here in this one. Latui saves it inbounds to Meadows, finding Astorga wide open on the other side and missed the lay-in. Three-pointer Buell, not good. Rebound by Terrazas. Meadow hooks it out, right side, Serena. Her shot doesn't go. Buell the rebound. Shot not gonna fall, but the ball tipped out of there by Johnson. Brooks takes it away. Up top to Kai Buell.
Interesting, she had a better look that time than the shot she took the last time down.
They're 0 for 3 from the arc are the Cougars. Fields, and a quick hand check. She's going to go against Edith. It will be on Latui, her first personal. 3rd team foul. Maya Rewaka will check into the ball game. Maya, the 5'10" freshman from Leven, New Zealand, checking in.
I need to look at a map to see if that's the North Island or the South Island of the 2 big islands of New Zealand.
Kai Buell takes the inbound. Astorga on her defensively. Kai gets a pick at the top. Johnson, left side, drain it from 15. Kai Buell has 6. And the lead is 14, 16-2. We were tied at 2s. Since been a 14-0 run by Western Nebraska. Astorga just inside the 3 line. Not gonna go. Rewaka the rebound. 1-on-4 and she'll be fouled. Maya Rewaka to the line. Again, she is only 17 years old. Just graduated high school in December and now here playing college basketball as that foul was whistled on Peyton Fields, her first personal. She'll turn 18 on February 26th. To which I told her all great people are born in February, with my birthday looming on the horizon. Peyton Fields checks out of the ball game. Free throw by Maya is good.
That'll be a key player because this team does not have a lot of height.
Maya listed at 5'10". Second one is on the way. That's no good. Buell taps the rebound. Ball is kicked around. They're going to give the ball to Central, as kicking it was Henry.
I think Buell frustrated that she didn't pursue the ball to begin with.
I think exactly. She thought her teammate was going to glove it and didn't. And so maybe a little bit of frustration with herself for not going in and gathering it in when she possibly had the chance. Terrazas, left side, Astorga. Man-to-man defense by the Cougars. Pick at the top, Latui. Back up top to Serena. 2 on the shot clock. They get it away. It's an air ball. It's a shot clock violation. Yeah, the shot clock had not moved because on the possession it is less than the 30-second clock after the free throw.
Another thing that happens in your press like this and having a real hard time with it, when you're shooting, are your legs going to be there, because you shoot with your entire body.
Central back with a basketball. Serena Amuatui Savora. Nice backdoor. Terrazas, that one won't go, but she'll be fouled. Good look by Edith Latui on the pass to go backdoor. They just cannot get those short ones to fall. And the foul is whistled on Emma Johnson, number 1 on her. That'll be number 5 on the Cougars, so they will shoot the remaining 2:51 on fouls as Moku checks back into the ball game.
Interesting, they've subbed quite a bit, but I think Beulah's played the whole way so far.
Terrazas at the line. Free throw is on the way and good. Half of Central's points right now from 2 different players at the free throw line. And Miley Williams scooted to the inbound check-in stand, but did not get buzzed in, as Alex' second free throw will get her in, though. You can hear it go through the cords. And Astorga will get her first breather of the ball game. 16-5 Central, after the 14-0 run, has scored the last 3 points. Terrazas D'ing up Douglas. Baseline, Buell, high arcing 3 will not go in, and over the back is Mauku of Maya Rewaka. Maya, a little shaken up after that exchange.
Did a nice job blocking out, however.
Second rebound for Maya, and
going to shoot the 2 free throws, as that is the 5th foul.
Maya to the line.
Well, it's not going to be 19-2.
I've been calling Lindsay Mauku Lindsay. It's Lindsay. Maya at the line. She's 1 of 2 on the day, 2 of 3 now. And again, it's been all free throws for Central. They're sending a Western Cougar to the training bench, although our trainer's over there running stats right now. So 16-7, Central has scored the last 5 points of the basketball game. They still trail by 9. Buell penetrates, kicks it outside to Douglas. Back up top in the corner, 3 ball on the way, will not drop again, and Williams the rebound. Central across the timeline, Serena to Latui, back to Serena now up top. There's a mismatch for you right there on size as Terrazas down low to Rewaka. Maya in traffic.
Oh, she needed to pivot the opposite direction.
Yeah, just turned the wrong way. Gives it to Williams, who has yet to score. Now will she? No, that one's not going to fall in. Getting the Western rebound as they'll go down low to Moku, and she will score. It's Maddie Campbell getting the rebound, and Moku scores. She's got 4. First bucket in a while for Western Nebraska, and then a steal by Douglas. Another one up ahead, laying it off glass. Panam for her first bucket of the basketball game. They need some help in the backcourt, so get the ball to Muatui Savora. Serena will dribble through traffic, throws it up baseline. Latui still have that ball knocked away, but Rewaka ends up with it. Miley Williams for 3 at the top, doesn't go. Mauku the rebound.
Boy, their bigs handle the ball as well, you'll notice, for Nebraska Western.
3-pointers, snaps the cords on the left side, Ashley Panam. And we'll get a quick timeout by Lindsey Fearing with 61 seconds left in the quarter. It's come in flurries for the Cougars so far today. A 16-0 run, and then here quick a 7-0 run on Central as they'll take a quick timeout. Rustler volleyball team is in Scotts Bluff this weekend as they are 1-2 currently in their 4 matches. They are playing again at 1 o'clock this afternoon. They will be at home on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock when they entertain the Rocky Mountain JV. You can watch it live here on rustlerathletics.com, listening live on 88.1 FM.
Just a little housekeeping. I think the timeout was called by Western Nebraska.
Oh, was it? Okay. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining, with 1:01 left to play in quarter number 1. Again, this game getting started a little early. If you're just joining us and thinking, how did I miss so much? We got started about 15 minutes early. It is snowing in Riverton, and it is snowing in the path of all of, oh, nice play, right between the legs of Panam on the save by Miley Williams. It is snowing in the path of all three of our visiting teams here, so our athletic director, Steve Barlow, asking if it was be too much trouble to move it up. Douglas is steal. She'll take it to the left side and score it as she is left-handed.
Problem here is the opponent today is making their layup, whereas yesterday Lamar really wasn't.
Another steal by Panam on the inbounds. Three doesn't go. Rebound by Sam Meadows.
Had it poked away momentarily, but got it back.
Buell, right hand this time by Douglas, will fall. And contact. Alicia Douglas, 10 points in the first quarter. Central will beat the press. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. Serena in the midcourt circle, and they were saying no fouls, and that's unfortunately exactly what they got out of Alicia Douglas. That is her first personal, and that'll send Central to the line with 2.6 seconds left.
Kind of a minor foul compared to some contact we've seen in the game.
Astorga will check back into the ball game as Lauda Martinez will check out. Serena from Hawaii at the line. Free throw on the way is no good. Central 5 of 7 from the stripe in the first quarter. Helping, I wouldn't say, I don't know, say keeping them in the ballgame down by 20 at the end of the quarter, but at least giving them points. 6 of their 8 points in the quarter have come from the stripe. Buell at the buzzer is going to be well short. I don't think it would have counted anyway.
Only one basket, in fact, in that quarter.
Yeah, the Rustlers outscored 27-8 in the first quarter of basketball. We'll return for the second quarter after this. This is 88.1 Rustler Radio, streaming live on rustlerathletics.com. (27-8) the first quarter in favor of the 15th ranked Western Nebraska Cougars. They would shoot 15 of 20 from the field. That's 60%, but if you looked at a shot chart, it's all right around the basket. They had a ton of layups in that first quarter on steals, and they lead 27-8. They were 1 of 5 from the arc, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Central 1 of 10 from the field, 0 for 2 from the arc, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. And they trail 27-8. They will have the basketball at midcourt as we begin the second quarter with possession arrow favoring the orange and black. Williams, Amuatui Savora, Meadows, Riwaka, and Astorga, the 5 that start the second quarter for the Rustlers. Meadow to Miley Williams. Long 3 on the way, left it short. Kai Buell, another rebound. Kai with 3 boards now to go along with her 6 points. Ball gets knocked away, trying to save it, can't. 11 turnovers on Central. That is just the 3rd of the game on Western.
Was she the Gatorade Player of the Year last year in girls basketball?
I remember seeing, but then I don't remember remembering. So
you've got the Furtick gal from Douglas to consider there too.
Right. Serena gives up the dribble in the midcourt stripe, gets it out to Williams. Back to Serena. She will penetrate, lose it in traffic. Riwaka goes to the floor with it, and that'll be a tie-up. Or did we get a timeout? It's going to be a tie-up, and it will be Western Nebraska basketball. 12 turnovers now on Central.
Interesting, when these teams played earlier this week, there are crowds allowed in Nebraska, so they did play in front of people. So this is a bit of a change. The score not so much, but the type of game being played in front of an audience is.
Yeah, it was 101-49 on Wednesday when these two met in the season opener.
In fact, I guess it was a pretty good crowd, in fact, is what I've heard.
Yeah, they were at a percentage of their capacity. They'll just throw it around the top, driving. Douglas throws it away right into the hands of head coach Lindsey Fearing of the Central Ladies. And that'll be turnover number 4. Back-to-back turnovers by Western, uncharacteristic of that basketball team.
Which is the same that they had in the first quarter, and here they've got 2 in the first minute.
So they're done then for the quarter for turnovers. Astorga throws it away. Oh, it ends up getting
Should have been stolen away.
Serena, as she'll dribble right-handed across the court to Williams. Picked off by Buell, who read it beautifully. Takes it the distance and misses the left-hand layup, and then Alacia Douglas over the back.
You know, it's weird. She looked uncomfortable shooting the left-handed layup, in fact.
Douglas will pick up her second personal foul. And that's not a turnover, but it was essentially a turnover when you miss a layup. I think coaches will tell you that it's as good as a turnover when you miss the lay-in like that. Serena is out as Terrazas back into the ball game. You can hear the defensive talking.
Well, that's got to be awfully close to a 5 right there.
And instead they'll throw it off the hands of Williams, who was D'd up pretty well, and commit the turnover.
If is a 5-second violation considered a turnover then?
Yes. Bella Sparacco back into the basketball game. Patrice Brooks with it. Right side, Buell fires it over the top and drains it right over the top of Miley Williams. Kai Buell now with 9.
She had, 17 the first time they played? Is that right?
Correct. Central gets a breakaway and misses the layup. Rebound by Johnson. Buell wide open 3 again. Drain it.
Same spot, same result.
12 points for Buell. 25-point differential on the scoreboard here at CWC. Terrazas shakes and bakes, loses the handle. Gathers it back in.
Like a lot of dribbling, but really not going anywhere.
Yeah, nothing, no end result of forward progress, unfortunately. Miley for 17 off the back of the iron.
Boy, they all dribble with their heads up, don't they?
Kai Buell, a third 3 in a row, doesn't go. Rebounds both pulled down by Brooks. That shot doesn't go.
I think she was too wide open, if there is such a thing.
And we'll get a timeout on the floor. Is that what we've got?
Yep, Lindsay called the timeout there.
7:27 remaining in the first half. It is all Western Nebraska, 33-8 on your Lady Rustlers. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Rustler Basketball on 88.1. .27 remaining in the first half from Central, as Western Nebraska leading 33-8 on that scoreboard. Riverton varsity playing at Natrona right now, and since I started watching, 5-0 run by the Wolverines, and they now trail 10-8 with about 90 seconds left to play in the first quarter of that one. Wolverine boys getting a victory last night as they took down Rock Springs. They're 2-0 in conference play, taking on Nechona later this afternoon.
I think the power is in that southeast area.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, anything east, I think.
I think you're right, because Thunder Basin's ranked #1 now.
6 teams that could go to state, maybe 7 if they played a super regional, so to speak. Central will break the pressure. Riwaka to Terrazas. Into the ball game is Aseta Nye for the first time, as there's an air ball, and Kai Buell snares it. Rebound number 4 for Kai. Steps up, dishes in the right side corner. 3 ball is no good.
You know, it's interesting. Remember Lindsey Faring commenting on Kai Buell a couple years ago that she was a good player. Now she's got to deal with her on the court.
Well, I think she coached her AAU team, as a matter of fact, as Lindsey Faring, a Cheyenne Central product, still spending off seasons in Cheyenne, as they'll chuck that in the backcourt. The backcourt violation will be turnover number 15 on the Lady Rustlers.
Western Nebraska can come at you in waves, and here's a 3-person wave right now coming in.
4, actually.
It got to be a bigger wave.
Well, maybe only 3.
The wave shrunk again.
Henry will trigger the inbound. Central subbing in a bit as well. Aseta Nye, as I mentioned, is in. Those pink shoes.
Got 6 6-footers on this Western Nebraska team.
2 6-footers as Terrazas went down at the free throw line. I think she got a knee to the knee maybe, or that area of your leg as Riwaka gets called the foul. First personal on Maya. They're going to take out Terrazas as Alex will come out. Astorga will come in for her. Six and a half remaining in the first half. Douglas, right side, baseline Brooks, hooks it to Mauku, lay it off glass, and one. You can hear the
They do a lot of things
picking
well.
up a little celebration there. Yes, they do, moving the ball very well on that one. And Liddy Mauku will get the and one. Foul again on Riwaka. That'll be number 2 on Maya. Mauku now with 6, chance for 7. She also has 2 boards. Second, only is good. 3-point play.
A very deliberate. She takes 2 dribbles, stops, and takes 1 more dribble, and then shoots.
28-point differential now as Central will break the press. Nye gives it out to nobody as Douglas is going to pilfer another one. Right side, Brooks might have been and one. It is and one. Latrice Brooks will score it. I believe Sienna Astorga from behind the foul. It'll be number 2 on her. I didn't hear the whistle. I'm like, might be and one, and that's exactly what it was and one. Adam Simon, our trainer, working on Alex Terrazas, trying to stretch out a calf muscle, it looks like, from across the way. Nye will come out. Serena back into the ball game. Also back in Laura Martinez as Matrice Brooks going to the line for the 3-point play. Drops it through the nylon. 39-8. Central throws it away on the inbound.
Did they press the whole game or just the first half when they played the other night?
I think it went into the early stages of the third, maybe the fourth quarter at Western on Wednesday.
Because the press is not our friend.
Good to see Yada Garcia checking into the ball game. Yada, 5'8" freshman out of Scotts Bluff. Douglas looking for a pick from Uku. Will step out into it. The ball is knocked away and taken away by Serena. So kick it up ahead to Martinez. Lauda's going to run the lane, have it knocked away from her, and taken away by Garcia. Long pass up ahead. Douglas throws it out into no man's land, and that ended up being in New Zealand, where Sam Meadows pulls it out of there.
Needed to put some height on it just because she had the taller player cutting to the lane.
Moku will commit her 3rd personal foul, playing half-court trap defense in the backcourt. She's going to check out of the ball game. Looks like Peyton Fields will check back into the game for her. Actually, yeah, it is. Wait a minute. It's Isabel Cook, excuse me.
From New Zealand, by the way.
There you go. Meadows, way outside, right side. Alex Terrazas back into the ball game, floats for 10, misses it. Garcia the rebound.
Well, still just that one basket for CWC.
3 good in the left side corner.
Well, she started going down court before it went through the hoop.
Peyton Fields. .34 difference right now, 42-8, as Western knocks it off the hands. That goes off the hands of a Cougar out of bounds. Edith Latui back in for Miley Williams. Alexis Motisi in street clothes today, not going to play. Did not play Wednesday due to that ankle injury after starting on Wednesday. Have not seen Carly Flanagan in this ball game as of yet, the Riverton High School product. The other one along with Alexis. 8 on the shot clock and a offensive foul setting the illegal screen is Sam Meadows for her first personal foul. 4th team foul on the Rustlers. 19th turnover on the black and orange.
Interesting, you've got the New Zealander guarding the New Zealander.
Shot skims off the mark, saved in bounds to Latui. And then Essential will lose the handle on the other side.
Got knocked away from behind there.
Douglas runs into Amua Tui Savora, and I think is going to be an offensive foul on Douglas for that.
I think by that time she'd already lost the ball, however.
Right, exactly. So turnover number 7 on Chad Gibney's squad. Williams back in for Rewaka. 3 Cougars coming in.
Is that a pride when there's more than one?
Kai Buell, Ashley Panham, and
just Lions?
This could be. Matrice Brooks back in. Garcia, Douglas, and Henry out. 4:22 remaining first half, 42-8. Western Nebraska, 15th ranked team in the country. The press is kind of like playing 8 of them, and there's only 3 in that backcourt, but they just played such good defense. Terrazas to Williams. Panham on her defensively. Leaning into the pick was Meadows, and Miley will go down the left side and be fouled. Miley had 2 points in the first half. The last time they played, ended up with 24 in the game, hit 6 3-pointers, but looking for her first points of the game. And the referee talking to Sam Meadows right now, and I think about kind of leaning into that offensive screen that she puts as the official went over to talk to her. Free throw by Miley is good.
It's her first point in a while.
Yeah, haven't scored in this quarter yet. That foul, by the way, was on Matrice Brooks. Her first. Miley gets 1 of 2. And the rebound brought down by Isabel Cook. Shot from 3 from Buell, not going to drop in, and then over the back will be the call on Cook trying to get the rebound.
Interesting, Buell shoots an odd jump shot sometimes. Sometimes she leans in on it, you know.
And she also kind of turns that right foot in.
Yeah, it's not the shot that's pictured, you know.
It's not both feet facing the basket. She kind of turns that shot. I mean, you can't argue with it. She's one of the best three-point shooters ever to come out of Wyoming women's history. So Sam Meadows will go to the line as that is foul number 5 on Western Nebraska. The lefty from North Palmerston knocks it in.
Another gal you had to think about for Player of the Year last year, Ben Bradshaw.
I think
was that 2 years
2
ago?
years
2 years
ago.
ago. Okay.
McKinley Bradshaw as Sam gets 1
that
of
year
2.
didn't count, remember? So.
Another rebound for Isabel Cook. Central has 10 points, but they only have 1 field goal. Now to lay in, so to speak, by Alex Terrazas. Brooks for 3, skims off, wide open rebound on the other side, put back in by Peyton Fields. Here's another interesting stat I'll give you as Central throws it out of bounds. Central has only attempted 15 shots. Western Nebraska has made 18 shots.
It's not that surprising when you look at the scoreboard.
No, it's really not, but that is just kind of an overwhelming of epic proportions here today. 44-10.
It was 50-15 at halftime the last time they played.
Shot for three, good. Knocking it down, Peyton Fields, her second trifecta of the afternoon. Williams bounces it to Serena, back to Miley, up ahead Terrazas. They'll break the pressure. Terrazas gonna go baseline, ends up in a triple team and throws it away. Long pass up ahead, Buell. She'll go to the baseline as it blocked by Latui. Out of bounds, it will stay. Western Nebraska basketball. Coach
I don't think we said it on the air, but her brother, the Gatorade Player of the Year in football.
Graydon Buell.
I think for 2 years running.
Cheyenne East High School.
State champions.
Helping them to a state title over Thunder Basin a couple of months ago. Kai steps up, I think it's just a 2, just inside the line for Kai Buell. 14 points for Kai.
Matched the halftime score of earlier this week.
50-10 now, and a foul on Matrice Brooks will be her second. And that's going to send Central back to the free throw line. I don't remember a game where I've seen only one field goal in an entire half.
Well, it's not halftime yet, but
it's 2:34. Yeah, you're right.
We've done some bad high school games through the years. I'm thinking the Sheridan Riverton game
I was gonna
some years ago.
I was going to dare you to name names, but you went out and did it anyway. So
I didn't say he was winning.
Serena Amuatui Savora from Hawaii, second one of two.
That's kind of been their MO, hasn't it?
Certainly has been, unfortunately. Madison Blaney is into the ball game, and she got the rebound. 9 of 14 Central from the stripe.
That's kind of a jackknife.
Who made that one?
And she just makes another one right here.
Back-to-back buckets by Ashley Panham on the turnover by Central. Terrazas. Backcourt. Western Nebraska's going to peel off. Williams by the hash mark on the far side. Up top, Meadow. Almost stolen away on the three-point line. Terrazas, no good. Blaney the rebound. Baseline underneath, wide open.
That's Isabel a great look. Cook. That's about a 40-foot pass.
Isabel Cook with the bucket. 55-11. Terrazas, Buell on her defensively. Tries to go down the lane, has it knocked away, taken away by Cook. Terrazas slow to come back to the other side. They'll go baseline, wide open, banker good. Good look from Blaney to Maddie Campbell.
Well, that's a lot of points in a half.
57-11. We still have 65 seconds left in the first half. You can hear a very vocal Western Nebraska bench lauding their teammates on right now. Latui with 7 on the shot clock, goes in the paint. Front of the iron, not good. Blaney another rebound, her second. 16-second differential, but they're gonna shoot it anyway. Shot is no good. Nice pass over to Cook, who will lay it in.
Well, that's a no-look, kind of behind your back pass there.
59.
But that's a bad place to get the ball.
Buell.
That's why.
15 seconds left. 61-11 in the first half of basketball.
The team that won the game we did just had 48 points.
Yes. Miley, 15 at the buzzer, no good, and Central will go to the locker room having scored 11 points, with 9 of that being free throws right now.
And you're right, one field goal in the contest in the first half. Outscored in that quarter 34-3.
After being outscored in the first 27-8. And we'll go to the half. 61-11 our score. We'll be back for the halftime show after this timeout. This is Rustler Basketball on 88.1. If you are just tuning in to Rustler Radio, this game got started a little bit early. If you're looking at your screen on rustlerathletics.com, that is not a typo, unfortunately. It's 61-11 at the half right now in favor of the 15th ranked Western Nebraska Lady Cougars. And we'll take a look at the scoring on this side. And
it's going to take a lot longer for one team than the other, I'm thinking.
Much longer on the other side. Central, again, 25 turnovers in the first half, leading to 61 points for the visitors here today. Kai Buell, 16 points to lead the way for Western Nebraska. Alacia Douglas, a number of steals. She also has 10 points. Ashley Panham has 9. Peyton Fields has 8. 7 points for Liddy Muoko. 4 points for Isabel Cook, 3 points for Matrice Brooks, 2 points for Maddie Campbell. Everybody but 4 players right now have scored for Western Nebraska. On the other side, 5 players have scored for Central. Alex Terrazas has 4 points. Serena Amuatui Savora has 2. Maya Riwaka has 3. Miley Williams, leading scorer for Central, held to just 1 point on 1 of 2 free throws in the first half of basketball. Central with just 1 field goal. Their very first shot of the game went in on a shot by Alex Terrazas, and then the remaining 17 shots they took in the half did not go down. We'll take a look at the scoring, the shooting numbers here in just a few moments. But right now, Western Nebraska all over Central Wyoming, 61-11 is our score at the intermission. We'll return with more of the halftime, and we'll look ahead to our men's game with Lamar coming up at the conclusion of this game. We'll do that after this halftime break. You're listening to Rustler Radio 88.1, streaming live on rustlerathletics.com. 61-11 at the intermission here on Rustler Radio in a quiet Rustler gym. No crowd allowed. Hopefully, the good news is the governor of Wyoming relinquishing a little bit on the COVID regulations and allowing a little bit of a crowd, and hopefully that starts Tuesday when the Rustler women volleyball team takes on Rocky Mountain College. Our Rustler women playing now, finishing up their 4-game set as they are taking on Trinidad State at Western Nebraska. 61-11 here, and finalizing some stats from the first half. Central, 1 of 18 from the field. That is all of 6% right now. 0 for 3 from the arc, 1 of 18 from the field. And credit 98% of that to the defense by Western that has forced 25 turnovers. They have also out-rebounded Central right now 23-15 in the ball game.
Which is perhaps closer than I expected even.
Well, simply I think from the fact that on the other side, Western Nebraska has shot 63%. So Western Nebraska has made 8 more shots than Central has attempted. Central 1 of 18. Western Nebraska 26 of 41, 63%. 5 of 14 from the arc. They have hit all 4 of their free throws that they have attempted.
Got a lot of layups thrown in there.
Yeah, Central 9 of 14 from the free throw line in this basketball game. And again, it is Western Nebraska 61-11 leading your CWC Lady Rustlers here at the intermission.
Boy, Western Nebraska is certainly not being tested their first 3 games of the year. And I'm not really sure, 3 games like this, what it does for you, really, because, maybe 1 to boost confidence, but I guess you really don't need that if you're ranked that highly last year.
Right, and they will entertain Eastern Wyoming College on, I believe, Tuesday night at the Cougar Palace when they get back home.
The shortest road trips in junior college basketball.
Yep.
I think there's Lamar and Otero are pretty darn close too, aren't they?
Yeah, Scotts Bluff to Torrington and vice versa in there. So I'm looking at, and I don't want to belabor a bad point, but I have talked about it, I don't even know, the 2 biggest loss margins that Central Wyoming has had have both come to Western Nebraska. One was 59 points when Ken Schwartz took that team down there and lost 101-42 in 2016. Cyril Stauffenberg's team in 2015, the year before, lost by 56.
There was a Snow College team, I thought, that came in here and kind of put the hammer down on us.
90-34. And if let me just make sure that, and like I said, I hate going after the negatives of the equation and things like that, but 65-33, 91-40, a 51-point loss when Ken Schwartz was coaching. Lindsey Fearing's team lost 66-40, 63-54, 63-51. So
that was mostly respectable.
Yeah, 91-40, a 51-point loss to Snow. Ken Schwartz's second year here at Central.
They looked like remember, that was very early in the year, and that Snow team looked like they were in mid-season form and hitting everything in sight.
And they came apart on CWC 61-11, as I mentioned here. Let's look ahead to the men's game, which will be coming up. Lamar is 1-0 as they defeated, Lamar is 0-1. Their women defeated us yesterday. Their women defeated Western Wyoming. Lamar fell by 10, 92-82 yesterday behind Kevon Wiggins. He had 36 points. He is a transfer from Monroe College in New York City, and Kevon had 36 to keep his team in the hunt yesterday, but they would lose by 10 to the defending Region 9 champions from Western Nebraska, who have Dane Prim back, and I believe he was 13 of 14 from the field yesterday was Dane Prim, as he had a pretty darn good basketball game to start off his sophomore season. Central is 0-1. After a 20-win season last year, they're 0-1. They fell 86-85 at Western Nebraska. Lamar finished 16-15 last year. They are also 0-1. They have a new head coach in Justin Sellers. He was the assistant to Ryan Stubbs, and then Stubbs took a job as an assistant at New Mexico State in late August, early September. So Justin Sellers, who is his assistant, he steps in as the head coach in September for this basketball team. They've only brought 7 players up here with them due to a bunch of various issues, but those 7 gave everything they wanted to Western Wyoming yesterday, falling by 10.
Interesting, too, though, if you're going to take a job in September, this was the year to do it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, because then you really didn't miss a whole lot, because that's about when everybody got back to school with their kids, even as head coaches coming back. And
I lived a summer at New Mexico State, by the way, as a kid.
there you go.
Las Cruces.
Spent a week there one year, right?
You spent some time in New Mexico yourself.
I did. Portales, New Mexico, out at eastern New Mexico. We have a player on the central roster from Los Lunas, New Mexico, and Jake Maddox, and he said it's about 2-3 hours from Portales. He liked Portales. He said I think his family member lives there in Portales, as a matter of fact. So we are at the half, 61-11 for CWC, as Sarah cranks the tunes for us with a quiet gymnasium. 61-11. It will be Central basketball to begin the second half. When we come back after this timeout, you're tuned to Rustler basketball on 88.1. Buzzer chimes in for some sound effects as we get ready for the second half of women's basketball. And it will be Central basketball. Terrazas, Martinez, Meadows, Astorga, and Williams on the floor for Central. As our scoreboard and clock crew sprints back into the gymnasium.
I don't think they're capable of sprinting.
Well,
but,
for their efforts. You'll see Buell, Douglas, also Spiraco, Panam, and Mahuku, the 5 in navy blue for the 15th ranked Western Nebraska Cougars, who enjoy a 50-point lead here at the half. Williams for 3 straight away off. Actually, it's on the angle. Doesn't fall in, and the rebound pulled down by Alacia Douglas. Right side, Panam 3. No good. Mahuku, the offensive rebound, and Liddy with the bucket.
You know, I typically say the start of the second half is the most important part. Forget it.
Well, I think it actually is for Central that they don't just
fold the tent completely.
Yeah, fold it all and say goodnight, because there's still a lot of basketball left. And Astorga from underneath gets bodied up in contact, and then the ball sticks.
How fitting is that?
Yeah, that's kind of how the day goes. And the alternating possession is going to give the basketball
That's an interesting wedge. You don't typically see the wedge that low.
Not from underneath, for certainly. 63-11. Central bench a little vocal now. And it's over. Buell, cross court, Panam. Didn't pump the three though. Right side, Douglas for three. That one will not drop in. Panam with the alley-oop rebound. Doesn't get it to fall, but she is fouled. Ashley Panam, the offensive board on the missed three. The central foul whistled on Laura Martinez.
You know, it was odd when they beat CWC earlier this week. They only had 3 players in double figures, but everybody kicked in.
Right, they had 9 other players in near double figures as Panam knocks down the first. She has 10 now in double figures. Again, Buell led the first half scoring with 16. Douglas had 10. And now Panam has 10, make it 11. 54-point differential now, a 4-0 run to begin the second half after they outscored Central 34-3 in the second period. Douglas, I think, has Central a little gun shy after she's pilfered the ball a few times. That ball knocked out of bounds by Mauku. Central maintains possession, 14 seconds left on the shot clock. They'll stack 4 out of the three-point area. Terrazas looking for a pick from Sam, bounces it baseline Williams. She'll dribble on the end line and Central will turn it over. (65-11) Western Nebraska. No look, over the head pass to Mauku, knocked it down. Great pass, Alicia Douglas. Over her head, no look to Mauku.
And they're not pressing here as we start the second half, by the way.
Still pretty good, intense defense on the half-court set, though.
Of course, what are you supposed to do?
Right,
you
exactly.
Know, so
you just can't stand there. As Williams step back 3 from the top, back of the iron, heels out. Mauku traveled with it, no call though.
I think Buell may have traveled as well.
I think perhaps the 56-point differential on the clock. Is that ball knocked away by Terrazas?
Kind of a bowling pass there, trying to pick up the 7-10, I think.
Long pass up ahead, Astorga baseline, trailing the play.
Too.
Meadow shot no good, gets her own rebound, put it back up and in. I think you're right. Second field goal of the game.
That may have been a travel again.
Sparaco gets free on a baseball pass from midcourt and lays it in.
Peas they put in the whistle just have fallen out.
That or they have the electronic ones and they have lost their batteries. You seen those electric whistles?
I haven't. You're the high-tech guy.
Astorga from 17. That's good. Central's third field goal of the basketball game, unfortunately, comes when they trail by 50.
And 2 consecutively, actually.
Martinez runs over Panam, and that'll be a foul on Lauda. Riwaka, Latui, and Amuatui Savora checking in for the Rustler lineup. That foul number 2 on Lauda Martinez. Douglas kicks it, Panam, back down low to Mauku, backs in, scores over Riwaka.
Does a nice job. She leans the one way just a little bit, and then the defense will cheat to that side, then just quickly spins, and it's pretty much a layup.
A pretty good height advantage and
that helps
pretty
too.
good size, and I don't want to say weight advantage because that's not a nice thing to say.
Just bigger.
She's just bigger and used that to her advantage to score on Maya. 71-15. Serena from 15 doesn't get in. Mauku the rebound. Right side, Douglas 3. Nope. Riwaka the rebound.
You know, she's had some moments in this ballgame when she's been in there, actually.
3 points, 3 rebounds, but a steal by Douglas, a miss by Douglas, but a foul by Serena. First personal on Serena.
Notice they hug each other sometimes after plays, and you wonder if that's the wise idea, especially if one figures it's a good idea to wear a mask, and she's the one that was hugged right there.
I think as close proximity as you are, just on the court, let alone in the bus, in
She's
motels,
got a mask on, for heaven's sake.
I think you're gonna, I don't know, the COVID inconsistency. We could go on forever, and I'm not going to. So, Douglas at the line. Free throw is good. She'll have another.
Left-hander.
They let the subs come in before the first free throw, which is different.
That is not right.
Peyton Fields and Shanti Henry into the ball game. Also, Bella Sparaco back in as Douglas hits both. She's got 12 now, and the lead is 58.
They almost inbounded the ball. Did you notice that?
They what?
They almost inbounded the ball.
Oh, Western?
Western did.
That's a good way to get stats and points when you get inbound after your own make. And
just keep it get the turnover early.
Another turnover there as it might have just saved time as Central turns it over in the front court. 28 turnovers by Central. And Coach Fearing had said in the pregame, we want to lessen the mistakes. We want to,
Wow, that's a nice catch because that thing was high.
Douglas, green shoes and all, outside shot, drain it by Peyton Fields. Third trifecta of the game, and it's a 61-point lead.
Quite a lot of interchangeable parts on this team for Western.
Wow. And going back to my thought just a minute ago, Coach Fearing didn't come out and say there's no way we can beat this team, but you were just beat by 52 the other day.
Well, I'll say it. I don't think there's any way they can beat this team.
And she said in the pregame, she's like, we want to play better. We want to lessen our mistakes. And right now, I'm not sure if that's happened for this basketball team as Astorga goes baseline shot is no good. Muku, contact, offensive foul, be a turnover.
Is that her? How many fouls does she have now?
That is her fourth.
That's what I was thinking.
She will come out as Johnson will come in.
And there's the interchangeable parts again.
Here comes Terrazas back in. Also back in Madison Blaney from Cheyenne, Wyoming. 4:44 remains in the third quarter. 76-15, a 61-point differential. Central's worst loss, unfortunately, was a 59-point loss to the same Western Nebraska team in the Ken Schwartz era.
Was that on the road? I think that the thing is, you got such a thing as home losses, and of course the snow loss was here.
Right, and you know what? I can look that up. I have that information.
You're gonna effort that, are you?
I will effort it because we're in a break right now. Western Nebraska. Let's see here. We'll mosey through. 101-42 was at Western Nebraska. And then 2 weeks later played here, and it ended up being 86-62. So
that's quite an improvement.
Yeah.
But see, that's the trouble that you play two games so close together. You don't really have a chance to see where we came from to where we are because it's just, it was a couple days apart.
Back in 2016.
Bumped into Ken Schwartz and Casper last year, just accidentally. They the same demeanor, very friendly gentleman.
Men's game will follow next here on 88.1.
Bit more of a delay, as we were talking about earlier, between the two games.
Although they have moved them up time-wise. 15 minutes, albeit, but still, the men's game may be even more so than the 3 o'clock they were going to play. Terrazas takes it left side, back up top. Riwaka for 3 off the front of the iron, and here comes Alicia Douglas. Right side, Johnson laid off glass and in.
Another great assist. Douglas is a nice-looking player out there. Got a pretty good all-around two guards out there that are both very capable point guards.
Miley Williams, guarded by Henry. Now Serena guarded by Fields. Gonna go with the left-hand scoop shot is no good. And a timeout called by Western Nebraska. Interesting, he wants to save the possession with a 63-point advantage.
And they were going to get the ball anyhow because the ball, it was never going to be a travel call because the pass had been made.
Timeout called. 78-15 at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Mountain West. I'm John Gabrielson alongside Joel Kindle. I'm the instructor of radio broadcasting at CWC. Do want to thank TJ Hester, Wyatt Barichka, and Riley Bouillon. They are my 3 play-by-play students. We don't even have a class. We're just meeting outside of their own time and getting some credit.
Which is odd. You used to have that
right,
class.
Did have the class, but haven't had it in a while since the radio degree
It's gotten better since you left.
It has. Since the radio degree has went bye-bye and it's now a new media degree, the sports broadcasting class hasn't been a thing, but these 3 expressed interest, and they did the non-CWC games
I
this
listened
past
just a
week.
little bit of it. They didn't sound too bad either.
Very first time play-by-play on their own. I just kind of threw them to the wolves. Carly Flanagan has entered the ball game for Central, by the way, the Riverton product. Sophomore from Riverton High School, 2-sport athlete, plays soccer for the Rustler women's soccer program. A very good student, academic All-American.
She's one of our taller players, actually.
She will guard Madison Blaney, so a little Cheyenne East versus Riverton action. Not sure what we're waiting for, but finally back at it. South Pass has lifted all alerts, which is a good thing for, of course, the Western Wyoming ladies are probably already gone by now anyway, so. Right side 3, good. Hammer it down, Peyton Fields. She's got 4 3-pointers. She has 14 points, and the lead is now 66.
And she's not a starter either. Lister is a guard, and she's a 6-foot player.
Blaney, steal, left-hand layup, good.
Well, she was very uncomfortable with the dribble, but she does convert the layup at the other end.
The other night I was asked, I think my son who plays high school basketball said, what's the mercy rule in college? I'm like, there is none, unfortunately. Riwaka might have double dribbled. She gets knocked to the floor, and the referee.
I don't think she was touched, I don't think, but.
I thought the referee farthest from the action called the foul, but he just simply held up his hand to stop play.
He was trying to decide whether it was a travel or a double dribble, I'm afraid, is what it really was.
Subs in for Western Nebraska. Buell is back in. Sparaco, basically their starting 5 is back in.
They've subbed into the starters, basically. Though I will say Peyton Fields has played like a starter, as a number of their backups have.
Panam, leading scorer yesterday against Western Wyoming. Down low to Mook, goes, shoots it out to Buell, and going to get a 3-second call as Liddy was hanging out in there for about 7 seconds. They finally get the whistle on that and turn it over. 10 turnovers in the game for Western Nebraska, and if Coach Gibney was going to be upset about anything in this game, it may be that fact that they have 10 turnovers right now.
Yeah, we talked about this last year. Like, there's usually 1 3-second call per game.
Right.
When they got it out of the way.
Douglas is going to be fouled after she made the steal, as Terrazas will foul her.
Somewhat of a local player from Omaha, Nebraska, which actually is quite a ways away from Scotts Bluff, but
just across the entire state.
Well, that's it's closer than New Zealand, for example.
That is true. The lefty at the line, free throw is good. She is perfect from the stripe, 5 of 5 today, 13 points for Alacia.
Ever been to Scotts Bluff?
Yes.
It is incredibly long, north to south. It was Scotts Bluff, this little place called Terryton or Terrytown or something, and then you go on through Gehring. It's just a super long main street.
Douglas can't get the second one. Carly Flanagan pulls down the rebound for Central. Some Flanagan lineage at Central. Both her uncle and her father playing CWC, and her cousin playing CWC men's basketball as well.
How he's doing. He was always fun to visit with.
Reese Andre.
Had
another year of eligibility.
Ago, isn't it?
Yeah, had another year of eligibility, but just Nouku loping down the lane, lays it off with the left hand. And this is a 71-point differential right now. 86-15 is the score. Flanagan, right side on the angle. Right side, Serena. Right side, 18, good. Nice job by Amuatui Savora. She has 4 points. Quickly up the other way, and the Rustlers are going to foul Panem as they get knocked to the floor. I think it's going to go on Serena. Second personal. Bonus time as free throws now for Panem.
It's too bad that Motisi's not able to play with the injury, because obviously the experience, if nothing else, you'd like to get being a first-year player, and obviously quite a jump up from, Wyoming high school basketball to junior college basketball.
Yeah, Riwaka and Williams come out, yes, and especially since her sport was going to be volleyball at Sheridan, and she was actually going to play basketball there too, but to be like kind of, I guess, initially signed on to go play volleyball and then end up playing basketball, and as Sheridan and Gillette dropped both of their programs, or both of their athletic programs at both schools.
Yeah, and here our roster was shorter in basketball than it was in volleyball. I think we had a pretty good size volleyball roster.
87-17. I have another couple of records I can look up, as that's a travel violation on Astorga.
And I think after today, you might not have to look them up for a while.
No, I think they'll be on there. Most points allowed in a loss have been 101.
And that was earlier this week.
Right, and it's happened twice as that bucket goes in by Douglas.
And they're 12 points away from that right now, and we're in the third quarter. I think that record can be in jeopardy.
Well, and another record I think that could be in jeopardy is the number of offensive points that Central has scored in a game, the fewest number.
Now do you have that one listed?
I can look that up here in a minute as well.
And this is the new era, too, we have to remember,
this is since basketball has come back in the last. Spiracco is going to...
What do you want to call that one, a travel or the double dribble?
That was a... Yes.
The multitude of infractions.
I'll look that up during the timeout here. We got a timeout coming in 38 seconds. And I don't want to bring light of the negative, but it is what it is, unfortunately. And Terrazas off glass, runner from 10 off banker is good.
That's her second bucket from about that same place in this quarter, isn't it?
She's the leading scorer with 6. 10 seconds left. Buell back to Mauku. Right side, Spiracco for 3, air ball. And that's how the quarter will come to an end, as Edith Latui got the rebound. 70 points separate these two teams right now. Western Nebraska 89, Central Wyoming 19. Fourth quarter after this break on 88.1. Back to Central Wyoming College, 89-19, Western Nebraska unloading on our Central ladies this afternoon. Going back into the archives, Joel, fewest points in a win. Central beat Montana Western once, scoring 43 in a win. Fewest points scored, though, 34 against Western Nebraska and 33 against Snow, both in 2014. They were
that was that Snow team that...
they were 3 games apart. This was actually not that same Snow team that beat them by 51. It was a different Snow team. That was when Ken Schwartz was coaching. These were both under Coach Stauffenberg, 33 and 34. So
is this the best team you've seen? I can't say that it is. I thought that Snow team looked awfully good that won here as we throw the ball away.
Opening up the fourth quarter with a turnover and a bucket by Brooks.
And some of these are steals, but they're sort of edging into the unforced category as well.
Flanagan drives, rejected. Taken away by Central. Another three, drain it. Wow. Peyton Fields has 5 3-pointers. She has 17 points.
And they're 7 away from that 101-point total you alluded to earlier.
This is uncharted in my broadcasting territory as Edith Latui's shot goes over the backboard and out of bounds. 94-19 in a women's college basketball game. And we still have 9 minutes left to play.
You got to remember, too, they're shooting on rims they're not familiar with, too. It's not like this is a road game.
It's the road team taking control. Three-pointer Campbell is an air ball. Actually, it's Isabel Cook, excuse me. Attribute the air ball to the wrong person there. Subs in for Central, Nye and Meadows. As Astorga and Latui will sit. And Williams is going to be fouled on her way down the right side. Miley only has 1 point today, 24 in the opener, 13 last night, and 1 tonight.
What if that might have been one of the odd emphasis on this game was to make sure that she doesn't get 20 points.
Right, she made 6 3-pointers, I think 6 of 9 Wednesday at Western. Meadows takes the inbounds, back up top to Serena. Right side Miley, quick release on a 3, no good. And a rebound by Peyton Fields. Up ahead of the pack, Brooks laying up and in. They have not pressed, but they've really not taken off the accelerator either on doing the other little things.
I'm sure you're fighting for playing time, though. You want to show your best, effort out there at all times.
And you've got to play 40 minutes, so it's not.
It's just solid man-to-man, and a lot of teams don't play a zone as the 3 falls. That's Miley there, but you don't want to go to a zone because that's not your game.
Right.
And it's like I said, you don't want your team standing around.
Johnson's shot no good. Meadows the rebound. 96-22. Miley's shot is partially blocked, and she is all blocked to the floor. Going to be on Henry. 3 subs coming in. Garcia, Campbell, and Blaney back into the basketball game for Coach Chad Gibney. Miley's free throw is good. Our hoop mic still functioning? Yes, it is. Making sure. 5 points for Miley, 6 now. 72-point differential, 96-42, 7:40 left to play. 96-24, excuse me. Got a little hopeful thinking there with my
That's really a bad sign that that's your hopeful thinking.
scoreboard reading. Blaney for 3. That one no good. Meadows another rebound. Sam 3 rebounds today, just 3 points. Near steal by Blaney. Serena gets free, launches the 3. That one misses. Rebound though picked up by Aseta Nye. 3 does not fall by Williams. And we go the other way. Another 3-ball attempted by Western Nebraska. Doesn't go by Campbell. Blaney the rebound. They'll finally call the tie-up on that. After
Yeah, how can you really call it a tie-up though? Because you've got the player swung around. How is she not traveling if she's been swung around like 3 times?
I think the jump ball should have came. She never
It should have came earlier, right?
A lot
but
earlier.
it comes earlier, and that gal has never had her foot on the ground for 3 revolutions. So
you're really not traveling then if you can't put the foot down.
You're calling that hang time? Is that what you're doing, or?
Serena knocks one away, and it's taken away by Central. 6:45 left. Most allowed points, 101. Most scored, 33 is the numbers we're trying to hit here. And there's an early jump ball call as Henry ties up Williams going down the left side of the angle. And it will stay Central ball on the alternating arrow.
The one thing this team does, they've got a little bit of everything on it.
Height, guard play, some speed, and Garcia fouls
and
Serena.
some whacking.
3 team fouls, Coach Gibney pointing out to his team. First on Garcia, though. Flanagan, Meadows, Williams, Nye, and Mua Tui Savora on the court. Miley running down the lane, rejected and taken away. Cross court pass, Blaney, wide open 15, buries it. A bucket away from the century mark for...
I think that was a violation right there, but they just didn't throw it. I think they threw it back to the thrower inner, who had not really established herself
on the inbounds there, okay. Another steal and point number 100 on the lay-in. Not going to happen, but the putback by Blaney does.
Now that's what you really hate. In a loss, though, you hate that, but you're not, taking care of business after that type of play. You've got the missed layup, so make sure that you get the rebound,
Central burns a timeout as Alex Terrazas will check back into the lineup. 100-24, and it's the media timeout with 5:50 left to play in the ball game. 100-54. We'll be back after this on 88.1. Still 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in this one, but it's been over since the first quarter, unfortunately, as Western Nebraska got out to a 27-8 lead, outscored Central 34-3 in the second. It was 28-8 in the third, and now 11-5 in the fourth. 100-24. Again, Central in danger of giving up a couple of records in modern day basketball here at C-Dub. Flanagan working on Blaney. Bounces it back up top to Nye, and it's taken away by Campbell. To Brooks, to Garcia.
The coach is still very active for Western Nebraska.
Campbell
high
knocks down a 3, and the 103 is the most as Central women's team is given up.
With 5:07 to go.
And it's not over yet, unfortunately. Central women, as we'll get a hold away from the basketball. Central's women, they need to score 9 to avoid scoring the least in a game as well. So Carly Flanagan will come out. Lauda Martinez in.
Well, this has to be racking your confidence pretty badly.
Yes.
However, they played Lamar closer than Western did.
Shot is no good. Campbell runs around Terrazas and then everyone else and misses it as she runs into Serena underneath, and Amuatue Savora is going to pick up the foul. Her third. And that'll send Campbell to the line. Johnson will return. Emma going to come in for Madison Blaney.
She's acquitted herself well.
Coach Gibney has played everybody, and everybody but Henry and Garcia have scored.
And everybody appears to be a player.
Maddie Campbell free throw good. 80-point game right now. And the total continues to rise on a new scoring record against Central at 105. Central on the offensive end now, 105-24, they're down 81. Flanagan will return to the lineup, next dead ball. Martinez runs through the pack and throws it away. Garcia up ahead to Brooks with a left hand, score it. Matrice Brooks with 9 now. They've already put 5 in double figures. She's a point away from double figures.
Some of the bench at Western Nebraska actually dancing at the last bucket.
107-24. Another steal by Brooks. The distance, the bucket. She's got double figures now, 6 in double figures for Western Nebraska. Historic day for Western Nebraska. I'd like to visit with Chuck, their play-by-play guy, and see what their records are for most points in a game, holding the other team down, that kind of stuff. Chuck's doing some volleyball play-by-play for the Cougars at their venue today. Shot missing by Serena. Meadows the rebound.
And you see sometimes the opportunity, so we see not actually looking for the bucket. Like I think in that situation, maybe Meadows should have just turned around and tried to score herself.
Serena missing that 3 on the outside. 3 minutes, 9 seconds left to play.
And the goofy thing too is, in this era, you can't really sit on the ball because you got a shot clock.
Right.
You can't take the air out of it when you've got a lead.
Johnson spins, right hand baseline, 8-footer, no good. Rebound, and Meadows got tangled up with Blaney, and they'll call Meadows for the foul.
Only CWC's second of the quarter.
And it wasn't Blaney, excuse me, it was Isabel Cook that got the rebound. Flanagan, Riwaka, and Astorga back into the game for Central. Staying is Terraza and Nye. Just the second foul on Sam, second foul of the quarter on Central. So they will not shoot yet. 109-24. This is an 85-point game. Baseline Johnson, point blank, bank it, got it.
And you got to remember, this is an 87-point game, and the game we did yesterday had a total of 88 points scored.
That's true.
Astorga with the basketball. Around the perimeter, shot long range is no good, and here comes Western Nebraska once again. Pass up ahead, glass, good.
Garcia's first bucket of the game. She is now in the books. Henry, the only one that hasn't scored now for Western Nebraska.
Let's see, there's the shot that you had, but you didn't take it, and you almost turn it over eventually.
Two minutes left in this game. Terrazas long 3, no good. And Astorga might have twisted her ankle when she collided with Cook. She's going to hobble back to midcourt, and they'll stop play, which typically they shouldn't stop play when it's the offensive advantage, but when there's an 89-point differential, I don't think anybody's going to care. And Sienna will walk off the court under her own power.
Go limping as she goes.
.145 remaining. Garcia. Johnson. Back out to Garcia. Tried to go down low to Johnson, through her hands, taken away by Riwaka, and Nye gets it back. 90 seconds left in this one, and two records, I think, going to be set here. Obviously one, the 113 is the most Central's given up in modern day, and right now 24 is 9 less than their low that they had ever scored. Three-pointer, Serena, no good. Johnson, the rebound. This is Astorga being looked at on the bench by Adam Simon. They will go to Rock Springs this weekend. Henry tried to get in the scorebooks, doesn't, missing that one. Men's game will be coming up in about 30 minutes from now, so the men's game was supposed to start at 3. It's going to start closer to 2:30. And they call a foul on Henry. And Central will have a chance at free throws. But again, 33 has been the previous record low by a Central women's team, and right now they're in danger of that record being broken.
And this is not even half of what they scored earlier this week. They scored 49 against the same team.
Serena, free throw is
over
good.
half now.
Central will not score double digits in any of the quarters, unfortunately, I don't think, because they're at 7 now in this one. 113 to 26, 87-point game. Shot misses badly by Johnson. It's not typically her office to shoot that, but Terrazas, shot no good. Ball batted out of there. Nye in traffic. Serena gets it. That'll get him a point away from double digits in the quarter. Need to get, not sure if they were trying to get the ball to Henry or not.
I thought I heard the coach say don't shoot it, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's going to end it right there. Central will still be 5 points shy of their previous low. Is that a new record, unfortunately, for them? They also give up 113, which is a record by 12 points on the other side of most points. And that's the buzzer, and that is the ball game. Your final score, Western Nebraska 113, CWC 28. 113 to 28, the 15th ranked team in the country dispatching the home team. They went 2-0 in the weekend tournament. Central going 0-2 at their home event. We'll take a very quick break. Your Wyoming Department of Transportation Buckle Up for Life Wyoming postgame show is next. We'll give you some final stats and close it out after this timeout. Your final again, 113 to 28 in favor of Western Nebraska. We'll be back after this break on 88.1. Final score again, 113 to 28 is your final here as the Central ladies fall. And they're now 0-3 on the season. 2 of those losses coming to this 15th ranked team in the country, and one by 52 and one by 80-something here, 85. Final scoring numbers for Central, they were led by Serena Amuatui-Savora. She had 8 points. Miley Williams, 6 points. 6 points for Alex Terrazas, 3 points for Meadows and Riwaka, and 2 points for Astorga. And that's how Central would finish. On the other side, 6 in double figures for Western Nebraska. They were led by 17 by Peyton Fields, 16 for Kai Buell, 15 apiece for Alacia Douglas and Lindsay Mauku, 12 points for Ashley Panham, and 11 for Matrice Brooks.
We didn't see Kai Buell hardly at all in that second half.
No, and she had 16 all in the first half of that basketball game. 7 points for Maddie Campbell, 6 for Blaney and Johnson each, 4 points for Cook, 2 points for Sparaco and Garcia. And again, Shanti Henry, the only one that did not get to score in the scorebooks. Everybody played significant minutes, but only getting the win, only getting in the scorebooks, everybody but Henry in the ball game, as Western Nebraska wins it 113-28 is your final score.
And it's a team worth checking out throughout the season. They're darn good.
Yeah, and they have put 46 minutes on the game clock, so the men's game will begin in about 45. So at about 2:45 is when we will see the men's game taking place.
So
at
the
about
same 50-minute cushion,
right,
basically, that this game started.
I thought maybe they would put 20 minutes on this to let Lamar.
I was betting on 30.
To get a chance to get out of Dodge with the snow falling, but that's not the case. But 113-28, your final score. Western Nebraska is the victors. Try this again as we are ready to say goodbye. Again, thanks to our student broadcasters for being a part of the broadcasts earlier today, Riley Wyatt and TJ. For Joel Kindle, I'm John Gabrielson. We'll be back with the men's game coming up in 45 minutes here on 88.1. We'll get a pregame before that. But thanks for watching and thanks for listening.